Ibn Khaldun's The Muqaddimah, often translated as Introduction, is a monumental work that delves deep into the essence of political history, society, and much more. Written in the 14th century, this treatise can be seen as one of the earliest attempts to systematically study historical and social phenomena. Before we dive in, if you find this content valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below. It truly helps us grow. Now, let's get started. Here are 10 main ideas extracted from the work. 1. Cyclic nature of empires. The renowned historian and philosopher Ibn Khaldun pioneered the concept that empires undergo predictable cycles of growth and decline. At the onset of a dynasty's formation, it typically emanates vitality, unity, and strength, driven by a cohesive sense of purpose and shared values. Over time, as the empire expands and prospers, complacency sets in. The once robust foundations of the dynasty begin to waver as corruption, internal strife, and a detachment from foundational values become more prevalent. This period of decadence makes the empire vulnerable to external threats and internal discord. Eventually, this weakening empire becomes a ripe target for a new, emerging group, infused with energy and ambition. This new entity then replaces the old, taking the mantle of leadership, only to embark on a similar trajectory in due course. Thus, according to Ibn Khaldun, the cycle of empire formation, peak, decline, and eventual replacement continues. 2. Assabia, group cohesion. At the heart of Ibn Khaldun's historical analysis lies the term Assabia. It refers to the intense communal bond or solidarity that knits a group together during its ascent to power. This shared sense of purpose and camaraderie, often born out of mutual interests and common adversities, empowers a group to overcome challenges and establish dominance. However, as history has repeatedly demonstrated, this cohesive force is not static. As the dynasty or group becomes more established, enjoying the fruits of their conquests and the comforts of power, this intrinsic bond begins to wane. Differences emerge, ambitions diverge, and the once unified front starts to fragment. The diminishing Assabia weakens the core structure of the dynasty, paving the way for its eventual decline. Hence, the vitality of Assabia serves both as the catalyst for a group's rise and, when diminished, the harbinger of its downfall. 3. Role of geography. Geography and the natural environment have been instrumental in influencing the trajectory of civilizations throughout history. The topography, climate, and availability of resources in a region can dictate the lifestyle, economic activities, and even the aspirations of its inhabitants. Mountainous terrains might foster isolationist or defensive cultures, while fertile plains can be conducive to agriculture and trade. River valleys have historically been cradles of early civilizations, providing water, transportation, and fertile soil. Coastal areas, with access to seas, have often given rise to maritime cultures and trade hubs. Over time, these geographical determinants imprint upon societies certain behavioral traits, cultural nuances, and developmental paths. They can also influence conflict, cooperation, and migration patterns. In essence, the physical contours and climatic conditions of a land are not just a backdrop but active participants in the narrative of a civilization's rise, evolution, and sometimes, its decline. 4. Economic factors. For Ibn Khaldun, economic dimensions were deeply intertwined with the societal fabric. He posited that in the early stages of a dynasty or civilization, economic activities are primarily driven by necessity and are often modest in scale. As the society prospers, there's an influx of wealth and luxury. While this prosperity brings about technological and infrastructural advancements, it can also introduce complacency. The very affluence that a society enjoys can become its undoing. As wealth accumulates, there's a drift towards luxury, leading to a decline in the society's work ethic, discipline, and moral values. The societal focus may shift from collective welfare and unity to individualism and materialism. Such changes, according to Ibn Khaldun, weaken the foundational Assabia or group cohesion, making the society more susceptible to external threats and internal decay. Economic prosperity, therefore, while beneficial, carries with it the seeds of potential decline if not managed with foresight and prudence. 5. Education and knowledge. Ibn Khaldun emphasized the indispensable role of education and the acquisition of knowledge in the sustenance and evolution of a civilization. To him, education was not just a means of personal enlightenment, but also a vessel through which the wisdom, traditions, and values of a society were transmitted across generations. An educated populace could critically analyze, innovate, and adapt to changing circumstances, ensuring the civilization's resilience and continuity. Moreover, institutions of learning became repositories of a society's cultural and historical heritage. However, he also cautioned against mere rote learning and stressed the need for critical thinking and genuine understanding. Without true comprehension and the ability to apply knowledge, education becomes a hollow exercise. For Ibn Khaldun, a society that prioritizes and fosters genuine education not only safeguards its cultural and historical identity but also equips itself to face challenges and navigate the complexities of changing times. 6. Role of religion. In the profound insights of Ibn Khaldun, religion emerges as an essential pillar in the foundation of societies. Religion, for many civilizations, serves as the bedrock of shared values, norms, and principles. It acts as a cohesive force, binding people together through shared beliefs and rituals. Through its teachings and practices, religion provides a moral compass, guiding individuals towards ethical actions and decisions. This moral framework, in turn, fosters trust and cooperation among community members. Furthermore, by highlighting the collective destiny of its followers, religion amplifies the sense of Assabia or group cohesion, making societies more resistant to external threats and internal discord. Moreover, religious institutions often become centers of learning, social welfare, and cultural preservation. In essence, Ibn Khaldun saw religion not merely as a spiritual pursuit but also as an influential social tool that shapes the dynamics, resilience, and identity of societies throughout history. 7. Social and economic structures. Ibn Khaldun's analysis was comprehensive, encapsulating the intricate web of social and economic structures that underpin any civilization. He observed that societies are shaped and defined by their inherent systems of governance, social hierarchies, and economic paradigms. From tribal confederacies to complex bureaucracies, and from barter systems to advanced economies, each structure leaves an indelible mark on the society's trajectory. These systems determine how wealth is distributed, how power is exercised, and how justice is meted out. Moreover, they influence societal interactions, alliances, and even conflicts. For Ibn Khaldun, understanding these structures was crucial to deciphering the health and longevity of a civilization. A society with equitable economic policies and inclusive social systems would naturally be more resilient and harmonious. Conversely, rigid hierarchies and economic disparities could sow seeds of discontent, leading to internal strife and eventual decline. Through his work, Ibn Khaldun provided invaluable insights into the anatomy of societies and the structures that sustain or weaken them. 8. Critique of previous historiography. Ibn Khaldun stands out in the annals of history not just for his original thoughts, but also for his incisive critique of existing historical methodologies of his time. He contended that many historical accounts were marred by biases, uncritical acceptance of sources, or mere recounting of events without delving into underlying causes. To him, history was not just a chronicle of kings and battles, it was a profound study of societal patterns, motivations, and dynamics. He advocated for historians to be discerning, to question their sources, and to avoid being swayed by myths or popular narratives. Ibn Khaldun emphasized the significance of understanding the socio-economic and political contexts in which events unfolded, thereby providing a richer, more nuanced account. Through his critique, he urged historians to adopt a more analytical and methodical approach to their craft, elevating the discipline to a higher intellectual plane and setting the stage for modern historiography. 9. Interplay of urban and Bedouin cultures. Ibn Khaldun was deeply intrigued by the contrasting lifestyles of urban settlements and the nomadic Bedouin tribes. While urban societies represented complexity, luxury, and a myriad of socio-economic structures, the Bedouin way of life was marked by its simplicity, ruggedness, and a closer bond with nature. He posited that the Assabia, or group cohesion, was stronger among the Bedouins, given their harsh environment and shared challenges, leading them to form close-knit, resilient communities. On the other hand, urban societies, despite their sophistication, were more prone to decadence and decay over time due to complacency and detachment from their foundational values. Interestingly, Ibn Khaldun believed that when urban societies started to wane, it was often the vigor and purity of the Bedouin cultures that played a pivotal role in their rejuvenation. The infusion of Bedouin values and strength would revitalize the urban centers, illustrating a cyclical interdependence between these two distinct worlds. 10. Theory of labor and value. Ibn Khaldun, with a foresight that was remarkable for his time, touched upon concepts that would later become foundational in economic thought. Central to his economic reflections was the idea that labor is instrumental in imparting value to raw materials. While nature provides resources, it is human effort and ingenuity that transform these resources into goods that have utility and worth. A piece of wood, for instance, gains value when crafted into furniture, a transformation made possible by labor. This insight aligns with the later labor theories of value, which assert that the value of a commodity is determined by the amount of labor required to produce it. Through such pioneering ideas, Ibn Khaldun not only enriched the discourse of his contemporaries but also laid down intellectual markers that would guide future thinkers in their exploration of economic principles. In conclusion, the Muqaddimah is not just a historical treatise but a comprehensive exploration of the factors that influence the rise and fall of civilizations. Its insights, while rooted in the context of the 14th century, continue to offer valuable lessons for contemporary readers interested in history, sociology, and political science.